Hi everybody, MP Will Greaves here, coming to you with the Weekly Wrap. It was a short week, but a busy one here in Victoria. I met with some of the other local elected officials from our region, including Victoria Mayor Marianne Alto for our regular head-to-head, and some of the other elected councillors from the District of Oak Bay and the District of Saanich about our shared priorities. In addition, I had great meetings with some of the organizations that provide services to some of the most vulnerable members of our community, including, for example, the Aboriginal Coalition to End Homelessness and some of the faith-based organizations that work right here in Victoria. In addition, a couple of meetings with local media and some briefings from federal government officials on what we should expect from the government in the upcoming fall session of Parliament, including a really excellent briefing yesterday with officials from Environment and Climate Change Canada on what climate and environment policy priorities we can expect from the Carney government in the months ahead. Lots to come on that front, but I was really encouraged by what I heard, and I'm excited to talk more about it in the weeks to come. In addition to that, there's two stories in the news this week that I want to touch on briefly. The first, you may have heard about, an individual from the United States closely aligned with the Trump administration and some of the most conservative elements in American politics was invited to address the federal cabinet at their retreat this past week. I don't have much to say to this except that I am among those Canadians who am glad that this meeting didn't happen and that individual didn't have the opportunity to share his particular political views with the most important decision makers in our country. The second story that was in the news you may have heard about is Prime Minister Carney has announced that the federal government is pausing the EV mandate for 2026. I just want to clarify briefly what this means. The mandate is not being scrapped and it's not being reduced from current levels. We're keeping the 2025 level of EV adoption into 2026 in order to give the big automotive companies, the big car producers in this country an opportunity to adjust their businesses in light of Donald Trump's tariff war against Canada writ large and against their sectors in particular. So this is an important pragmatic step to give the auto sector time to adjust to the new economic realities while maintaining the government's commitment to reducing emissions and getting Canadians out of their gasoline-powered vehicles and increasingly into battery-powered and hybrid plug-in options. Stay tuned for more, but it's going to be a busy session of Parliament, and I'm excited to fill you in on it in the weeks ahead. For now, that was the Weekly Wrap.